So we've talked about kind of conceptually what flywheel training is and the benefits of it, but Ben, can you go ahead and break down here? We have the platform as one of the pieces of equipment. Can you kind of break down what it is and the advantages of it?
Yeah, so I really love this piece. This is kind of the showpiece, I would say, of the Exerfly line. And for various reasons, this piece is so great. Number one is the size of the overall platform. The platform is much larger than other platforms that are out there, which is nice, especially if you have big athletes. You know, if you're working with tall athletes that need to get in the longer, if you're doing, say, a split squat or an exercise like that, being able to have a little bit more room is nice. Number two is the weight of it. So it's heavy, it's not jumping off the ground, it's not moving around. It's a really comfortable, safe, stable feeling piece of equipment. The bench is something that's also really unique in that. So obviously we have this bench on here right now. It can easily be unscrewed and removed, and it can even be turned sideways in the other direction, say if I want to do an exercise like a hip thruster. And this bench is not only flat, it can be put into an inclined position, so this allows me to do a lot of nice upper body exercises, not just lower body exercises like some of the other pieces of equipment that are out there. So the bench is a big add. One of the other really unique things is this has two pulleys. Most systems that are out there are single pulley systems. While I can use this as a single pulley system the same way, I can also use it as a double pulley system, which would allow me to do actual things like real squats with a bar per se on my back, or bench pressing, or shoulder pressing, or any of those type of exercises. I can do bilateral exercises, not just unilateral from the upper body perspective, as well as the lower body perspective. So those things are really great. Obviously I can take it off, I can be standing on here, doing all of my traditional squatting, RDLs, split squats, you name it, lateral movement types, which is also really, really important. The smoothness. These flywheels are really smooth, they move really nicely. You don't feel like, you know, it's got this vibration going on. And then the last thing that really makes this piece so amazing is there's an option to get motorized technology. And what the motorized technology does is it allows you to get an eccentric overload. So what's eccentric overload? That means basically I'm going to have more force or a bigger overload. Let's use a squat as the example here, in the down phase, right? So in my squat, when I'm going down, that's the eccentric phase of that motion. I can actually have an overload that I program. And not only can I program it, I can exactly decide how much overload do I want. Do I want 5%? Do I want 10%? Do I want 7%? Do I want 13%? Whatever the case may be, which is great for your more advanced athletes, right? You're not going to take somebody who's brand new to working out or doing flywheel training and then just start jacking them up with big motorized. But if you have advanced athletes or people who've been training on flywheels and they get to the point where they're really getting good at it, that eccentric phase is so important for us from an injury prevention perspective. It allows us to generate more force in a golf perspective, right? If I'm going back and I can get a bigger eccentric overload, well, we talked about earlier, we talked about an eccentric loading in the backswing, right? So in golf, when I go in my backswing through my torso, from my hip and through my trunk, I'm eccentrically loaded. And then I create what's called X factor stretch when I start my lower body down before my upper body. This dynamic action is really important related to the eccentric phase. And because I can eccentrically overload my system, this is a great way to help me increase my power output.